Welcome back to the channel, guys. Well, today I'm going to take a look at something a little bit different on the channel. This is a outdoor solar powered security system or security camera. As you can see here on the front, it has a solar panel that recharges the internal battery on this to keep it fully charged, and then of course it lets you monitor your house, and it also has infrared night vision, so it'll work 24/7. You don't have to worry about it only working during the day. Now you can see on the back here, we'll go over some of the specs. It says it's a full HD camera, so that should mean that it's 1080p. It says it can detect people, and that may be one of the app features, so maybe, I don't know if it will put a box around them or what it does, because the camera is not motorized, it's stationary, so it does not move around. It says it has an AI analysis, which probably ties into that. Again, this is app, that is part of the app. Wireless networking, so it works off a wireless signal to your cell phone. I believe it probably connects to, I've not actually dug into it, but I believe it's going to connect to your home's Wi-Fi system and then allow you to tap into that and see the camera feed. It has two-way audio, so it does have a built-in mic, and then it says you can actually talk back to them. So you're like, hey, who's out there? And someone says, oh, it's me, Bob, your neighbor. And okay, you know who it is, So you can talk both ways. You can share it with other people, your camera here. There's the infrared night vision. So obviously it's going to give you that sort of that greenish, probably night field you're going to be able to see with, but at least you can see at night. Battery powered, and that is recharged through the solar panel. So it'll charge it up and keep the battery, whenever it's cloudy or nighttime, it's obviously running off of the battery. It says it has an activity zone, which I'm not exactly sure what that is, and there's email alerts that they can email you, I guess if it detects somebody. So that's part of what the AI analysis and human detection is. That it's going to let you know, hey, if there's somebody walking around in your backyard or front yard wherever your camera's mounted, you're going to be able to, it's going to pick that up, and hopefully it will distinguish, of course, between a human and, say, a dog or a cat or a random animal. All right, let's get inside the box, and I'll show you guys what those components in the camera looks like right after this. Alright guys, so here are the components that all comes in the box. Of course, your camera, the solar panels, and some wires, USB cables, and accessories. We'll very quickly go over that. This is the mount for the solar panel. You can see it will attach, here's some like drywall anchors if you're putting it onto your house, and some screws. I'm going to mount it onto a wooden post in my backyard, so just you won't need those anchors, I don't believe, to go into that, and that'll let you tilt it and arrange it at the direction that you get the most sunlight onto the solar panels. And then this is your mount for the actual camera itself. Of course, I need to, because you may have the the camera pointed one way and the solar panel pointed off another way, so that it can get the most direct sunlight, depending on where you mount it. Of course, if you mount this, you need to make sure that the solar panel is in the sun, so you don't want to mount it in the shade. And that's why it has a rather long micro USB cable, as you can see on this. So I don't know offhand how long it is, but it gives you the ability to mount this a little ways away from the camera so that you can get it into the sunlight. And here is a USB cable to connect to the actual camera itself. And here is the camera. So it had the camera, of course, is here on top, and then it's got an infrared sensor emitter around it. It says infrared light is around the camera, and then this, it says, is the infrared sensor itself. So this will emit the light up here, and of course, infrared you can't see. And this is a sensor that helps pick it up, and this is also the human body sensor. So it's built into this part of the sensor down here. This is just a spotlight, so I believe you can turn this on and actually emit regular white light. It's just an LED in there, so you could light up at night a little bit with that if you wanted to actually see with your own eyes, or actually see using the visible light spectrum of the camera. And then this is a little indicator light. It'll light up when it's powered on and it's functioning. This is a speaker, so if you're talking to the person whoever's out there, they will hear it to the little speaker here in the back. That's obviously the screw, the place to mount the mounting bracket here again that will go into it. And on the bottom you have this rubber flap that flips up, and you've got your power switch here, and then you've got the USB to power it through the black cable from the solar panel. I think there's like a reset button here, and then you got your micro SD card slot. So you need to provide one of those. That's of course where all the footage is going to be saved. Most likely what it will do is, just like a lot of other cameras, it will overwrite as it fills up. So it's not going to just reach full capacity, I don't believe. There's probably settings within the app for that specific aspect, though I'm not 100% certain because I've not actually turned the camera on and used it actually yet. So I'm just going over the specs in the manual. So you can pull that all open and access it, or you can just pull, I believe, just the middle flap here, because obviously you need to keep this from the elements and the water and stuff. But there's the middle flap, you pull this like that, and that gets you access just to the power. So if you don't need to get in there and get the SD card out, this lets you plug in the solar panel while keeping the SD card and the power button and all that dry and away from the rain and snow and elements like that. So pretty neat. I'm pretty excited because I've always kind of wanted a security camera, but you know, whenever the seller here on Amazon reached out to me, I was pretty excited to get an opportunity to review this. And that you're going to use, of course, that app that's going to let you connect and connect this to your home Wi-Fi, so you're going to be able to see everything, and then you're going to get that feed to your phone. And that app is called the Vico Home app, and I'll put a screenshot from the Play Store up here. Of course, it's also available on iOS if you have an iPhone. I'm not going to go through the setup. It should be pretty self-explanatory, and I just wanted to show you what the camera looks like, give you a name of that app, and then we'll get it mounted outside and let you guys see some daytime and some nighttime footage with the infrared, and also hopefully we can turn that spotlight on and see how that looks like as well at night. So let's get out to that footage from the camera, and we also test the audio. Let's do that too to see how that speaker works. So we'll test all that here in just a moment, so I'll be right back. Okay guys, so we have the live feed going now in my backyard, as you guys can see there. Now it looks like a still picture because there's not much anything moving back there. You can hear some sound from the mic from wind noise and such being picked up, and you can of course turn that off here with the sound button in the app. Now we don't have any sound because you'll pick up a lot of that noise. There's an audible alarm here. I'm going to get the sound muted so we don't interfere with my voice. The audible alarm, excuse me, you can turn that on and it makes a siren type sound. When I did it a while ago, I didn't hear it through the app, so it could be that it mutes the mic because it's very, very loud. So we could test that outdoors if I remember to. Then we have a white light, which you won't be able to see here in the daytime, but that's the LED light I talked about, and that lets you light up your backyard or wherever you've mounted at nighttime. Up above the live feed, you have your Wi-Fi signal there, which you can see is about 50%. It's good enough. And your battery meter, which shows we're about 2/3 of battery there. You can press to speak down here in the bottom. I'm not going to do that at the moment because I need to have someone in the backyard to test that with. So probably at the end of the video, I'll try to get my daughter or someone in the backyard, and we can talk back and forth and record that through the app. Again, everything you see now is just in the app. The video is also being saved internally to the SD card that's inside the camera, and that's going to be higher quality than what you're seeing here. But I just want to be able to let you guys see the app so you can see what we're all doing. I think that's more important than letting you see the quality. And then inside, up above the feed, you have a little envelope, which is your like triggered events. You can click that, and that shows you it lets you jump around to where that event was triggered, so you can immediately jump to where something may have happened, whether it's, you know, an animal moving around or something that you want to look at. And then next to that, you have a little gear icon, and inside there you can see it says we have 71% battery. We have a strong, it says, Wi-Fi signal, and of course we're online, and I have it set that I'm in my backyard. You can change your motion sensitivity and some of your motion settings there, so I have to fiddle with that still. You can change some of their notification settings here, which again, I've not set up this. You can set up activity zones and intelligent notifications, so I'm gonna have to look at that still. Your SD card, if you want to, right now it's saving, it's letting you know there's an SD card in there. If you don't have an SD card in, it's just going to stream to your phone only, and you'd have to actually manually record a video to your phone, and which would be a bit of a pain, but I'm going to show you in a moment how you do that. And you have some sleep settings there you can also look at too. Scheduling when you want notifications and such turned on and off. Firmware, I've already checked that. That is all up to date. You can see the SD card says at the moment that it's pretty much empty, but I know that I was looking at the SD card footage and there's some video already being saved, of course. And you have some lighting settings in there if you want to use different things for your night vision. It says flashlight, alarm, indicator light. You can turn the indicator light on and off, so you know the little blue light is not on. It makes the camera more hidden from someone, so they don't know where your camera is. You have some auto power on settings to power the camera on after it's fully charged, and some audio settings for like the voice loudness of the voice volume, and live auto recording, video audio recording. If you want to record audio or not to the video, you can turn that on and off. And you have some advanced settings for anti-flicker and some installation settings. And then you can share the actual camera with like a neighbor or someone if you wanted to, which I don't think too many people are going to do that, but you can. And then I'm going to show you now the full screen. My screen recorder tends to never want to rotate the phone between portrait and landscape. So if I go into landscape now to show you guys a full video, it's going to mess it up. So I'm going to pause the video here, screen recording, rotate it, and show you guys when I get entered into the video, and then you guys can see it full screen. To do that, you'll just tap on the video feed box here, the image you see, the preview, and that will go take us into the full landscape view, so you can get a better view of your backyard or wherever you're filming. So let me pause the video and we'll come right back and show you that. Okay guys, so we have the live feed now in landscape mode here that I'm recording. So you guys can see we get much better detail here in the backyard in this mode. Now in the upper left hand corner you got your date and your time. And then if you tap the screen, you get some other things that pop up here. You've got your video, photo, and you can turn that sound back on. Basically, it's giving you access to all the controls we saw on the main screen in portrait mode. But whenever you click on the video or the photo, it's going to record video just to your cell phone. It's always recording to SD card, but if you didn't happen to have a card in, this will let you take a photo or record video just to the gallery on your phone. Then down in the bottom right-hand corner, you can actually do the mic. That's where you can talk to someone, just like we saw in the on the main screen. And then up here you have your Wi-Fi signal, and it actually shows a data throughput like around 180 kilobits. It's recording in HD. And if you click on the three little lines here, that brings up that auto alarm, the white LED light, and then your device settings. So you have access to everything that we saw on the main screen. We have access to that as well within the landscape mode like this. So it looks like it's pretty good. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back with some night vision, test that infrared out, see how well does it work at night. And we'll also test the white LED light to see how much does that illuminate my backyard. I think it'll be a little, I don't expect a ton. We'll see how does that affect the infrared. Does the infrared turn off? Does it switch? Or does it stay on, and can it work with both, modes? We'll see what that does when I turn it on. And then at the very end, I'll come back at the very end here and give you guys some mic test footage to let you know how does it sound through the app when you talk to somebody out back. Because again, you have a little bitty mic and a little bitty speaker, but it's going to sound, it's going to sound a little tinny through it, I guess. But I want to see how well does that mic and speaker work to talk back and forth to someone who you see on your camera. So we'll test that at the very end. So we'll be right back with the infrared night test in just a moment. Okay guys, before I get to the nighttime footage, I wanted to very quickly go back to this screen that I showed you just a while ago talking about the intelligent notifications and the activity zones. This is all subscription-based stuff. It does not come with the purchase of this. You have to subscribe to it. If you click on the check now, it's going to tell you you can add additional cloud storage. There's your intelligent notifications. It tells you basically, is it a person, a pet, a car? It's going to let you know what it thinks the camera's seen, which actually is pretty cool, assuming that the AI works well with that. That's why the box mentions that it has AI. And your activity zones there, which I think you can you draw a little activity area you want the camera to look at, sort of like the Ring doorbells use. Then it shows you down here. It does appear that you get about a half of a gigabyte, I think it says there. I'm trying to see if I can read. It's very faint. For up to a week, included with it in the cloud storage. So you can see what you can add to it there if you were to subscribe. And then another thing I wanted to show you guys was the auto power on settings. We looked at this a moment ago, but after reading through it, I do have it turned on now, because it says, especially if you're using solar power to recharge the camera, that the battery, when it gets low and if the camera turns off, it will turn itself back on once it gets sufficient battery charge from the solar panel. So this is nice, because then if my camera goes dead, if it's really cloudy and raining and it isn't charging, and then at night, of course, it can't charge, then it will turn itself back on during the day once that battery is charged up from the solar panel. So I would advise with this particular system with the solar panel, that you do turn that auto power on option on in the settings. So let me go back and get the screen rotated, and we'll show you guys the nighttime infrared and light. So I'll be right back. Okay, but here's the infrared night vision. It looks pretty darn cool. I think it really looks really much better than I thought. In fact, it doesn't really have that green tint, which I sort of, sometimes you see in some of the night vision stuff. It just looks really, really fantastic. These dust particles you see, I don't think those are bugs. It's too late in the fall for that. Just picking up, these little dust particles and stuff, just how sensitive it is. It looks really good. I'm really impressed with that. And you can zoom. We could do this during the daytime as well. So if you see something moving around, it's a digital zoom, of course. We see, like over here where I'm looking now, I got voles. They look like little mice things, and they dig in the ground. I've been putting out bait traps. They are hard to get rid of. But I could zoom in, and if I see one moving there, I can do that with the zoom feature. And then we can turn the light on. I tested this a while ago, and I was actually pleasantly surprised at how bright that light is. It will, as I suggested earlier, it will switch off the infrared and go to the visible light mode. And I tell you, it's good enough that if you could leave that on all the time, it might be okay. And you wouldn't even need infrared just to see within my fenced area here around the pool. So that's something to consider. But you're going to draw more power around the LED all the time at night. So you would run that battery down really quick. So that's why you want to stay in the infrared mode. But anyway, let's just click on the screen here and go to the three lines and go to the white light. And you'll see it light up there. And look at that. Now you can see the blue of the pool cover. And you don't see as good a detail. So the night vision will let me see the animal and stuff there. And if I were to look over in this upper right-hand corner of my fence, you can't see those little mounds of dirt and stuff in those voles, really. And you can see that in the night vision. And you can still see the dust particles and stuff in front of the camera here at night with the visible light feature. And some of the brighter light on the fence here is just from the street lights between the house here on the opposite side of the house shining through. That looks pretty good, though. I do like that, but again, I think the infrared is what you want to go for better detail and obviously longevity of the battery at nighttime. So let's go back here and let's turn off the light, and then you'll see it stay in the visible light mode for a second, and look, now it switches. So it takes a second as it turns it off to switch modes, and then it flips back over to your infrared mode, assuming that you have that option enabled in the app. So yeah, this looks really great at night. All right, what we're going to do here is we'll just have one more segment before we wrap this video up. We'll come back, and I want to do an audio mic test talking back and forth. You'll hear the audio of obviously me talking, and then the microphone audio will come back through. Since it's coming back through the app, you get an idea here how loud will it sound for you to hear in your phone. But obviously you're not going to really hear me on the speaker outside as it would normally be, because it's going to be hearing it through the recording. And I'm not going to be outside with my daughter whenever we do that. So we'll test that out and let you guys hear that, and then we'll end this video. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're going to do the microphone speaker test now. Now, of course, it's going to be coming through the app, so you're going to be hearing my daughter talking to me and back and forth. We won't actually hear the speaker as it would sound outside, because I don't want to get any feedback into the mic. So I'm just going to test it with her. She's standing out back, so I'm going to talk to her now.
Yes. I can hear you.
Like I am right there, and they can hear me and they can reply. So that was pretty neat. All right, so that should wrap up the video, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope if you're interested in this product, you can check it out in the link provided down in the video description. As always, guys, have a wonderful day.